Hello and good afternoon. I'm getting ready to start dinner. Don't know where to look, don't know what to say. Anyhow, I wanted to show you the cast of characters that we have for dinner tonight and show you what I come up with. All right, here we go. I'm going to switch this around. All right, you get my living room, my kitchen. All right, here we go. This is what I have pulled out for dinner tonight because I have the hamburger already defrosted. And then I have a little bit of onions left over from burgers the other night. I have some dehydrating garlic that is past its prime and needs to be used up. I've got some mushrooms that need to be used up. I've got a crinkly, wrinkly bell pepper. I've got a little bit of tomatoes that were left over from hamburgers, so they need to be used up. I have half an onion. I may not use it. This is a jar of my homemade Rotel, and this is a jar of my home canned ketchup. I buy things in bulk, so elbow noodles, and then this right here is some Italian spaghetti seasoning mix that is really good and gives a good flavor to everything. So I'll get these going and show you what I come up with. All right, we're going to get this party started, and we're going to put in 2 cups of that elbow macaroni into a boiling pot of salted water. Give it a little stir-a-roo-y. Get it going. I figured 2 cups is roughly a pound, and that should be plenty for my family. There you go. This will roughly feed probably 8 to 10 people. All right, on to the next thing. Just a little trick here when you're boiling pasta, potatoes, anything that's boiling and that can boil over. If you take a wooden spoon and you set it right there like that, it won't boil over. So just a little trick. Okay, I am using this little chopper right here. I got it off of Amazon. I think it's like the Vidalia chopper or something like that. It comes with a bunch of different size little plates here. They just, if I can do it, they pop out, and so you can select a different size. I just like this size right here. It's about a 1/4 inch, and it just gives a nice little dice to everything. And this is a chunky pasta dish, so it's good to be chunky, as always. So I have these leftover onions from burgers the other night, and I just set that down there, give that thing a pop, and see, I don't know if it'll show it or not, but they're all chopped up. Easy peasy. On to the next stuff. All right, so I got the leftover tomatoes chopped up, the bell pepper chopped up. I only used about 2/3 of it because I'm going to put the other part of it into a green salad to go with dinner tonight. I'm going to put the garlic through a garlic press, and I'll add that at the last so it doesn't burn. And yeah, so that's what it looks like. Pretty good dice. Super simple. I'm going to take, it's a capful of that Italian seasoning blend, and just add that to these veggies and give them a chance to start working on their flavor. And then I'll throw the meat into the electric skillet, brown it all off. And then once that's browned off, I will add the Rotel, the tomato sauce, the veggie, cook it down, and we'll have some kind of goulash going on. All right. Okay, I'm back again, and I keep on saying okay. I've got to think of a different word. I've got ground beef here that I'm just going to slide into the pan and learn how to do this one-handed and backwards. If any of you don't know, I am extremely left-handed, and so this backwards thing is kind of familiar but new all at the same time. So anyhow, so I'm just going to break this up. This right here is the best dollar store gadget I have ever come across. It just breaks that up beautifully. Get that going. And I do this all on the electric skillet because then I don't have to turn on my oven at the end when I add the cheese. It's just all in one pot. Unplug it, bring it to the table. Pretty simple. All right, I'm going to let that do its thing. And I'll come back when I add the vegetables. Just a little update on the ground beef. I added salt, pepper, and a little bit of paprika in there just so that while this is browning off, it'll smell right. I don't know about you guys, but I am a total sensory cook. And not only has to look right, it has to smell right, and of course it has to taste right. So just for me, when I'm browning off ground beef, if it doesn't have at least salt and pepper in it, it just doesn't smell right when it's cooking, and so I just have to fix that. So on with the browning. There it is, added with all the vegetables that are in there. My beef is pretty lean. It's home-raised beef from my sister, and so it's pretty lean. I know that my sauces, my Rotel and my tomato sauce, are pretty thin, and so just to make this a nice thick sauce, I added about 2 tablespoons of flour in on top of this, and I am stirring it in, cooking it down a little bit to lose that raw flour flavor, and that will kind of make like a roux in here before I add the sauce and let it simmer for a little bit till I add the pasta. And the pasta is cooked al dente, you know, on the more undone side. I cooked it for about 7 minutes, and it's going to finish cooking off in this sauce, and that'll help thicken it up as well. And while I was waiting for all that stuff to take place, I tossed up a salad, and it's got some homegrown radishes in there, romaine lettuce, cucumbers, and the rest of that bell pepper that needed to get used up. And then once all this stuff gets incorporated, I will top everything with some of this cheese. And I have some leftover garlic bread from dinner the other night, and so I'm going to throw some cheese on that, throw it in the oven, and that'll go right along with our dinner. Adding in the elbow macaroni and giving this a stir in, get it all mixed in and incorporated, and put the lid on it, let it simmer for a little bit till it thickens up, and then we'll top it with cheese and let it sit to cool down just a bit and melt that cheese, and then we will have dinner. While this is doing its thing, I'm going to work on that garlic bread. This is the leftover garlic bread from the other night, and it was just heated up ciabatta bread that I sliced and slathered on butter, garlic, reheated it again, and then served it that way, so it's never been toasted. So tonight I am going to top this with some cheese, put it under the broiler, get that cheese all nice and melty, and that will be a side dish with dinner tonight. I don't know about you, but that's looking awful yummy. Yes, it is. All it needs now is the cheese and a little cool down so it's not so molten lava-y. And in an effort to keep things real, this is what happens when you cook from scratch. Dishes happen. So while that's finishing up, I'm going to get these dishes done so that my crew can do the dinner dishes when everything's all said and done and have a clean sink to work in. No garlic bread. Boo-hoo.